Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is January 21st. It's Saturday. It is 12:35 p.m. now here in the Arizona desert where it's unseasonably cold, actually. My gosh, I think it might actually be in the 60s today. Does the world know what's happening to us? I'm sure that's making people around the country very happy who are shoveling, a few feet of snow off their driveways. So anyway, welcome home, Bitcoin True Seekers. It's Saturday. Let's make this fast today because it's weekend. BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. Affiliate links, stuff I endorse, all that kind of stuff. Some of the indicators that we use here in the show. If you dig this and it brings you any value, buy me a coffee. It's fun. It isn't that much money, but I love seeing little coffees come in. It's just kind of rewarding. So with that said, looking at Bitcoin volume today, it is insane. I mean, 17 billion on a Saturday. That's nuts. If we even had like 5 or 6 billion today, I'd be like impressive. But today, it's off the charts. So, Bitcoin trading volume has lost its mind. All right, it really has. Looking at the top 60 exchanges here, Binance up last 24 hours, 100%. Most of the others, well, some are over 100%. Do I see any over 200%? Definitely above 100% is pretty common. PEX pay is up 1,122%. I doubt that's whatever. That's an exchange running like under somebody's desk on like an old like Novell network or something like that. Anyway, so I think all exchanges, is anybody in the red? No, and most exchanges are up at least 50%, if not 100. Oh, well, L Bank, whatever that is down. Some of these exchanges really, except for the top 10, I think they're just sort of like, well, crypto.com is a real exchange. BitGet MEXC is actually up and coming. It's a nice small exchange. It has some coins that are, serious shit coins. You usually have to go to like PancakeSwap to get. Anyway, so exchanges doing pretty darn good today. Oh, Polynex is a real exchange. Okay, so yeah, exchanges doing darn good. I like what I'm seeing. With that said, looking at Bitcoin in the top 100, coming in at 23,243. That's nuts today. Incredible, incredible. Looking at the top 100 alts, many are losing their minds. Apt, since yesterday, it's been losing its mind. Aptos, APT, 38% up last 24 hours. FTM, right? Phantom, yeah, Phantom's up 11%. Optimism, I love that Optimism OP is on the rise. Terra's looking great. Luna, basically, a lot of things doing quite well. Solana up 12%. Cardano up 8%. Woo! Anything else worth noting? I mean, really amazing. Last, like ever since yesterday in the market has been really, really great. So I definitely like what I'm seeing. All right, let's look at longs versus shorts in the market today. 47% long, 52% short for Bitcoin on Binance. So we've had a short bias since yesterday, but so far I'm watching I've been watching, and shorts just, they keep trying, but they keep getting wrecked. So short at your own risk. Remember, with crypto, especially in Bitcoin, ain't no top, ain't no bottom. Be careful of what you're sure of, especially when you're using leverage, okay? Binance, also again for Ethereum, 46% long, 53% short. So basically, we have a kind of pessimism towards short ever since yesterday, and it makes sense. I'm just going to throw out there, not financial advice, but be careful, because when you get into pump territory like this, there ain't no top, ain't no bottom. Anything can happen. Right here we go, Bitcoin on the 45-minute chart. Just know that at any moment, this sucker could BART out, bam, and just be done. So careful. And that's probably coming. And why I say that is this. We've had a great run, a great pump. I love it. The only thing is that watch the squeeze indicator here. Okay, I am finding that divergence, it's a real thing, It really does exist. I used to kind of fight it, but now I'm realizing that actually divergence is very, very real. And it really, really does play out. Now, the 45-minute chart is a weird time frame, I know. And I kind of get this from, actually, I do get this from Blockchain Education. It's Jonathan Regan over there has been talking about this for quite a while. And I think for the short time frame, especially like how we kind of play cryptos quite a lot, very, very effective. Sure, look at the hour, look at the 2 hour, look at the 4 hour, daily, whatever. Most of my trades are based on 45-minute. take a look at the hour, and then 4 hour and daily. But all the same, boom. Uh, like just what am I saying? I'm finding that on the 4 hour especially, you can see bullish and bearish divergence, especially for Bitcoin. I've noticed in alts, and then also forget the hourly; it's very effective, but also the 45-minute for very immediate bullish and bearish divergence. So for a 45-minute chart here for Bitcoin versus USDT on Binance, where most of the volume is, let's face it, we're seeing here on the squeeze indicator, because the price action is going up. Bam, hardcore. Let me make sure. Wait, oh shit. You know, I forgot something. Wait, I forgot to share my screen. Oh gosh, one sec. I forgot to share. Like what's the point of it if you guys can't see it? Bam. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Gosh, there's so much to start this over. Just dump this one. But you know what? Screw it. If you stayed with me, here we are. We're just getting started. Anyway, BitcoinDailyView.com, got more for you there. Bitcoin's got 17 billion in volume right now. Top 60 exchanges here that I can see over at Coin Market Cap, all deeply in the green. Crazy volume today for Bitcoin trading, for all spot trading pairs there. Looking at derivatives for Bitcoin today on Binance. I should just say just derivatives on Binance. Leverage trades 72 billion. That's insane. That's usually a good day in a bear market. So we've got serious derivative trading happening on Binance, serious spot trading, and across the board everywhere. So we got amazing volume this weekend. This is insane for a weekend. This is like buying a monster truck rally ticket where you pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge. You know what I mean? So top 100 cryptos, amazing. Optimism doing great. Terra doing great. Phantom doing great. Aptos lost its friggin' mind. So we got some alts that are really screaming. We'll look at those. And here we go. Back to this. I'm sharing that, right? Sharing. Yes. Okay, finally. There's my screen. So I'm glad you guys can see it. Let me actually use this better one here. Boom. There, put myself back there. So as you can see here in the 45-minute chart that we were talking about earlier, boom, price action is moving up. And then, of course, look at the squeeze indicator here on the 45-minute chart. Got bearish divergence. I always remember it like this. Bearish divergence is going down. Bullish divergence is going up. So if the price action is going down and then the indicator divergence is going up, then that's bullish. Just that's how I remember it. They're opposite one another. So anyway, price action is going up. And then the squeeze indicator is showing bearish divergence. A directional index, which I'm finding is very powerful for this, is showing bearish divergence. Stochastic RSI, bearish divergence. So we got bearish divergence across the board here on the 45-minute chart, which usually shows very profoundly and powerfully the immediate price action. Let's take a little look at the 2-hour chart also. I find that's a very effective one. The 2-hour chart's not showing it to the same extreme. In fact, it's kind of not really showing it. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. And the 4-hour chart, really is not really showing it. It's actually 4-hour chart's not really showing the bearish divergence, but do note in the 4-hour chart the stochastic RSI is pretty darn maxed out. And but the directional index and ADX is looking great, and squeeze indicator is looking great. So anyway, we might be seeing some immediate, a little bit of meekness, a little bit of weakness here in the market, but let's see what happens. This definitely could turn around. I mean, also here the stochastic RSI is showing that we've gotten back into oversold territory, so maybe we're going to pick up from here. Just be watchful. 45-minute chart, bearish divergence. 2-hour, not so much. 4-hour, really the opposite almost, but not really. So just be watchful. When we're pumping this hard, I think that people who are too certain about what's going to happen are silly. You don't know. We're in uncharted territory. We're pumping. Same as when we're really dumping. You don't know exactly what the next step is going to be. You'll know it when you see it. So for me personally, I got some positions in on Bitcoin when it started moving up, and I just keep moving my stops up. I have a couple plays that I already have trailing take profits that fired off. It's going to turn around most likely, and lock in some of those gains. Because I would just say that I don't know. Here's the thing. Like I was thinking, like in the video title, is it going to be we find a spot we like and we find a nice sideways, and that becomes support, it could happen. All right. Negative nannies, people put on their grumpy pants every day. Life review, it could happen. Okay. It could happen. This becomes a new sideways. All right. It could become the new sideways. All right. Let's look at a 4-hour chart real quick here. 4-hour chart. Yeah, it's looking just wonderful. I mean, 4-hour chart's good. Just notice the 4-hour chart and the 45-minute chart are both above the 200 moving average. And then note this. This is a big deal. Daily chart above the 200 moving average. Where I actually see possibly hitting some resistance. Actually, not like this on the daily chart. Would be here. Would be the 314 moving average on the daily chart. You mark my words, darn it. That's where we'll find resistance. That's going to be the challenge to get through. Okay, so daily chart, 314 moving average. What is that sitting at? That is sitting right at 24,681. So I'm telling you, myself, I'm gonna definitely take some of my trades that are in the green, and actually I'll probably start trailing take profit right when they hit 24,500, to be honest with you, because 24,698 is definitely the 314 moving average on the daily. You'll find resistance there, at least a pause in the action. So if we make it that far, so there's my play. There you go. Hitting trailing take profits, hitting limit orders, conditional limit orders, bam, right there. Because that definitely is something that we could see happen. Note this on the daily chart. Cigars is kind of doing okay. It actually just it was up high, kind of overbought, but look, it just it dumped a little bit and then crossed positive. So we got some serious crazy energons going on here this weekend. It's insane. So now let me actually try this. Can we find where it is? Sorry about that. Daily chart, looking at the MACD in the positive on the daily chart. Very, very positive. Wonderful to see that. I dig what I'm seeing. One thing about a retrace, if we actually hit the 314 moving average there at 24,681, I'll be taking, like I said, I'm going to start taking actions, 24,500, 24,600, something like that before we get there. Don't be surprised if we wick up there, then can't get a body above it and start to retrace from there. Possible. I kind of expect if we have a hot enough day, or today or tomorrow, we wick above it, and then like the body of the candle can't quite, I'm trying to color it in, but the body of the candle can't quite get above it, and that's where we a little bit of a retracement, and that's where we move up. Where can we retrace to? An interesting one is right here. This red moving average here is the 8 moving average. It would not surprise me if when we wick above this, body can't get above it, and it retraces a little bit before it challenges it again, it will come back down to wherever the 8 moving average is. And right now the 8 moving average is right around 21,486. So you're never going to, in any time frame, you're never going to stay that far away from the 8 moving average. Some people like to use the 9. Totally fine. That's legit also if you want to use the 9. But I use the 8. The 9 is also a popular one. So anyway, guys, that is powerful. But daily MACD is positive. Of course, 4-hour MACD is positive. 45-minute MACD positive? Let's see. I know the is positive. Okay, no, it's kind of showing a little bit of weakness right now. Interesting. How about the 2-hour? I find for immediate price action, a 2-hour MACD is a great thing to look at. And as you can see here in the histogram, we're seeing bearish divergence. Okay, on the 45-minute, on the 2-hour chart. So that's one to note. We have a positive MACD, but the tangent is starting to go towards the negative, so let's see what happens there. But 2-hour chart is looking pretty good, above the 200 moving average, all as well. So anyway, but pulled a little bit far from that 8 moving average. We're not quite close to it. So if we see a retrace, maybe it'll be to the 8 moving average. So just something to take note of. So anyway, wrapping all that, feast of stuff up basically is daily chart. Positive. 2-hour chart MACD is positive, but in the histogram you see some bearish divergence. Looking at like the 2 and looking like the 4-hour and like 45-minute chart. No, sorry about that. Looking at the let me go back to here. Looking at the 45-minute chart, I see some bearish divergence. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're kind of still going strong. No real bearish divergence there. So just something to know. It's a mixed bag. We're at least getting a little weak in this pump. So let's see what happens. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we will move, we'll continue moving hardcore up the next day or so, and we'll hit the 314 moving average on the daily chart, which is coming in at 2,406, 2004, I'm sorry, 24,681. So I'm going to have a stop in at 24,500 basically. Either I'll do some trailing take profits at that point, or I will just pretty much stop limit out. And I think we'll definitely find, I believe, support resistance to the 314. Will we make it over? I don't know, but we'll find resistance there, I think. So I kind of expect a wick above and a body that can't make it, a little bit of a retrace, possibly the moving 8, which is down here at around 21,493, so it's like 21,500. At that point, it'll be a little higher, like 24,200, 24,300. I'm sorry, no, 21,500, 21,600, probably be around there somewhere. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a retrace at that point. If you want to stay in and just be in, maybe get a trailing take profit or something like that going, of course, trade your own risk and trade your own methodology. But like I'm saying, that's what I'm expecting, some resistance and a possible turnaround. So I might just get out with some of my positions at that point, or at least trailing take profit them and see if we make it above it. It's a lot of push we've had recently. I'm seeing on the short time frames, maybe a little bit of lack of energy for Bitcoin. So getting above that daily 314 is going to be a real challenge. So just plan on doing something at that point, because you don't want to give your gains back if you're in. Also, if you're looking to short, that's a place to do it. But how far we're going to get that short to be effective, I don't know if it'll be effective, at least in my planning, I would not expect it to go much deeper than the 8 moving average unless we really, seriously BART out, And if we BART out hardcore, then I would expect to bounce around 21,350 or so. That would be the 45-minute 200 moving average. That is a spot I would kind of expect to find a bounce. If I didn't find it there, I look for the 314, which is around 20,750. So there you go. That's my take on it. As always, the 2-hour MACD is an incredible teller of what's going on, and it's still positive, the 2-hour MACD. But like I say, we're seeing bearish divergence on the histogram there. So we've pushed hard. The 314 moving average is where I kind of expect the possibility on the daily chart of finding a spot that we retrace from. I'll look at that one more time. Don't want to belabor it, but like I say, the 314 moving average right now is around 24,681. So for me, around 24,500 is where I'm going to take some action, probably, to hedge my bets, because that's where we might bounce. Now, we've got a lot of coins, a lot of alts losing their minds, and if Essence and Ape versus USDT losing its mind. It had an upwards channel going, as you can see. It blasted above it. Squeeze indicator's looking good. Directional X is in the right place, but getting to trail off a little bit. You can see the divergence there, bearish divergence on the DI a little bit there. ADX is still moving up though. It's all about right now what's going to happen. Are we going to see a retrace at the top of this channel and bounce, or go sideways? We'll see. I think alts will kind of do their own things. Some are going to give it all back when Bitcoin retraces. Some will not. Some might even pump further. You never really know. Play at your own way. But myself personally, I have an Ape versus USDT coin buy that I got into back here on the 200 moving average cross. Stayed in, was getting a little bit worried, hit the bottom of this channel, had to stop down here, but it took off, and now I'm just thinking about what am I going to do. It's going to move back down to this 8 moving average, but the 8 moving average is above the top of this channel, so I'll probably put a stop right below the top of this channel, and I'll just call it good. That's how I play things. I don't really recommend a lot of trade setups for people. I just kind of say what I'm doing and, trade your own methodology. But I will say we have so many hot coins right now. But what I would, I don't say recommend, but something I'm definitely going to be watching is doing some fib sequences on these massive pumps, because some are going to bounce in logical places, and just be watching for that and watching for those bounces. It all depends on what happens. We're going to see a lot of alts that went crazy, that come down, make the top of the channel their new spot, and bounce off that. Some will go back to the bottom, and there you go. And some will go all the way back down to the 200 moving average if they were above it at all, and then move up from there. Or just it's over. They'll just give it back. That the market's going to get really bearish. So trade at your own risk, y'all. It's a crazy time in the market right now. Let's look at optimism versus USDT. That thing has been nuts. Look, so many of them look like this. We're seeing a little bit of new energy there on the 45-minute chart. So you got optimism looking just incredible. I know it's kind of frustrating right now because, the time they've gotten in, really would have been, back on this 200 moving average run right here, like when the energy started getting hot, like right about like here. I'm not kidding. Right about like right in here would have been a good spot to enter. As you can see, the squeeze indicator working. Actually, right about here when the ADX got above about 20, 25. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough play. But it's kind of like for me, I do tight stops, and I just kind of, like for this one here, I was trying to get in, with a tight stop whenever it kind of broke above, like right here. And I think I didn't get stopped out. I got stopped out back here somewhere when I thought I was going to break above. But anyway, if you can do things like get the 200 moving average break, put a stop below it, you'd almost stopped out, but then it took off. So optimism was a hard one to get into, but once it's pumping like this, what do you do? I'm starting to see a sideways right now. So let's actually see how that rolls. If you do go back to here. And if you do a fib sequence, you can kind of see it's doing about a 2-3, doing about a fib sequence. It's doing kind of a 2-3-6 bounce. It may continue doing that. Anyway, guys, squeeze indicator is starting to cool off, and the directional X is definitely showing bearish divergence. So we're going to have to. It's weekend. Let's see how things roll. It's just crazy. It's really hard to play a market like this. And if you didn't get in on anything early, if you're not in the green, I know it's kind of frustrating because it's hard to enter. You're probably going to have to wait for the retraces, or if you're a Bitcoin shorter. Like I say, the daily 314 moving average is definitely an excellent place to expect to short at 24,681, or have some stop orders in to get rid of your stuff if you want to keep your gains with a stop with a stop limit or a trailing take profit. Not financial advice, just what I'm doing. So what else? I could look at coins all day that are going great. So many alts have just friggin' rocked. Apt USDT lost its friggin' mind. Bam, incredible. And one thing about the hello Cosmic Secrets. Hello. One thing about these kind of markets, don't forget you can play. Sometimes this is one of the things about a bearish market. People think we're bearish or bullish, whatever. Here's the thing. They can be hard to find, but if you work at it, you can find coins that are also trending against Bitcoin. One of the best ways to take your Bitcoin hodl, if you have a certain amount, and just take some pieces of that and put it in the trades. Like if you did apt and you got in on this trade here, in a bear market also, even though maybe your overall, portfolio value is going down, is a great time because you could definitely have scored an easy 41% in 20 hours if you were just watching charts and finding good entries, and just moving your stops up. You'd be set. So don't forget, you can make USDT. You can also definitely, even in a bear market, or especially in a bear market, honestly, or a sideways market, you can make insane Bitcoin sats. So don't wait around for a bull market, because bear markets are the best times to find alts that are popping. There always are going to be a couple. You guys want to know how to find them and then hop in and bam, and make more Bitcoin Satoshis. So when that bull market does come, that stash you've had is now a lot larger. So, and now for some stuff. Here's some news. Here's some humor. Okay. I saw this actually someone sent this over to the Bitcoin Daily View Telegram group, and this is actually true. Hyperinflation. This is from what I understand is actually happening. They're putting security devices on eggs. That's nuts. Okay. That's really happening. I saw this over at Trade Genius. Somebody posted this article. UAE de-dollarization accelerates. Crypto will play a major role in trade going forward. We're starting to see a pattern in the last week or so, while the monsters were over doing Davos, in geopolitical events, that is anything but good for the unipolar hegemon in the West. Well, this is happening. And there you go. I mean, this is absolutely happening. I'll put this in the live chat. It's a good article. Um, the world's changing. I was thinking about this with a lot of the conflict in the world today. Samantha Smith on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. This little heroic youngster sent a uh, a letter to the Russian president at that time, like back in '80s, and he replied, and she went to Russia, her and her family, and they saw a bunch of stuff, and she was kind of like really a peace activist, to be honest with you, and great story. Her life's very inspiring. She was later killed in a plane crash, which is how some entities in this world get rid of people that they don't want, if you know how that all works. But a great bumper sticker right now would be like, what would Samantha Smith do? Yeah, Samantha Smith, this 13-year-old ambassador to the Soviet Union. She's an American citizen. She was called an ambassador. I mean, that's kind of a weird way to put it. She died in a plane crash. She was best known for writing to Soviet leader Yuri Andropov in 1982 and visiting the Soviet Union as his guest in 1983. And, so I was just thinking how this is very amazing. It's something to watch, just something to think about. Do we have we have Greta Thunberg now, whatever. But something to watch. I'll put this over in the live chat. It's really a powerful short video. It shows you how great of an interviewer Johnny Carson really was. And this just gives you an optimistic, hope for the future. And just think, like, is this even, possible today? And so if you're harboring too much angst and disdain, then, for real, watch this. There's hope for the world. We just got to get rid of these guys who we're meeting this week, these monsters who don't care about stuff like this, that, one person's medals or the other or someone else's children. And these monsters, I think, had a bad week. They kind of found that nobody was really appreciating them, and it really bugged him, especially this one personally. He was very upset about the negativity, that everything they did, every thought, word, and deed was blasted upon the internet. And these monsters were shown for what they are, and their scam just isn't working anymore. And so my hope is that you wake up in the morning and you're excited about trading. You realize that Bitcoin is one of the most optimistic things that you can possibly do. Every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is an absolute statement towards a positive future for humanity. No matter how negative stuff is, even ourselves, if we're negative, it's an optimistic act. It's probably the most optimistic act that you can possibly do. So my hope is that, these monsters hiding behind stuff like this, who didn't have a good week, I hope that nothing bad happens to them, but I hope it kind of goes like this, where we need internet immunization with digital antibodies built in, blah. Sure, Satan, let's get you back to hell. So anyway, remember, every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, Punch is a nasty piece of shit globalist in the nuts, and that's wonderful. And they had a bad week, so keep stacking those sats because we're winning.